Hello, I am going to show you how you can edit and customize your iSpy activity. These directions will be universal for the iSpy 12 question, 16 question, and 20 question templates. And this will also apply to any of the iSpy activities, whether it's the back to school or another theme. So the first thing you're going to see when you open up your template is what the students would see. And right now it's set up as if students have already answered all of the questions correctly. You can customize the font size, you can change borders and things like that to fit your needs. The only thing I want you to keep in mind is if you resize the rows over here where the questions and answers go. What you could possibly do is leave a blank space here above the I Spy picture, and that won't look very good. So I would not adjust the row height here where the questions and answers go. If you want to adjust the column width to make the question columns bigger, you can. I formatted this so that if you type, it will text wrap. So if you have a couple of lines in your question, it will go, it'll wrap around to the next line. All right, so right now what you're seeing is that students have answered all of the questions. I'm going to go ahead and delete student answers. Now, on this version, when you delete the student answers, you don't have an I Spy collage picture here. The students will only get that once they answer all questions correctly. Now, on the second version here, I'm going to take out student answers, and you can see that the I Spy collage does not go away. So you can choose which one you would like to use, or it's a great way to differentiate for your students. All right, so the very first thing I would do is I would decide, first of all, which one am I going to use? The one where the collage stays there the whole time, or only after all questions are answered correctly? Instructions go here, and directions go here. Now I'm going to scroll over to show you where you put the answers. This is formulated to accept two possible answers. So let's say your first question, a possible answer would be dog or dogs. Second question, cat or cats. But the third question, you just want the answer bird. That's the only answer you'll accept. So you're going to actually type that in answer column 2 as well. So now what I want to show you is once I change the key, dog, cats, bird. So now my answers, my student answers match the answer key. So once you complete the whole answer key, I always go back and put in the answers as the student to make sure everything checks out correctly. Now, we want to hide this from students. We don't want them to find the answer key. So here is how we protect this information. So you're going to come up here and you're going to click on this column right after the activity, and you're going to Shift, Control, or Command, and then you're going to press the right arrow and you're going to highlight all of those columns. I turn the font to white. I turn the font size to 2. Okay, so that's going to hide all the text. And then I'm going to right click and I'm going to resize my columns to 2. It's as small as we can go. So now you can see they're all squished together. Last thing I'm going to do is hide these columns. Okay, now all students have access to is the actual activity. Of course, before you assign it to them, you want to come and delete all of the answers so that they're starting fresh. Now, the last thing I do is I protect my sheet so that if students go to type into a cell where I don't want them to be able to change anything, it gives them a pop-up warning. The only places I want students to be able to type is in the answer columns here. And also, let's see, let me just answer this one. Dog, there we go. I want them to be able to click and drag the magnifying glasses over here once they get their I Spy image. So I'm going to click. This is a little different than Google Slides. You're going to click, get that box. You want your hand to turn to an open hand like you see here. And then you're going to drag that magnifying glass over the image, and they can resize the magnifying glass. Okay, so let me show that to you again. Just see here. Cats. Okay, apple. So we're looking for the apple. So I'm going to click, get my box. I'm going to move my mouse till I get that open hand, drag, and then I can resize here. So there's my apple. So that's how students are going to complete the activity. Now this part is just for fun here, just to keep students engaged. All right, so we're going to protect the sheet. So I'm going to go to Data, Protect Sheets and Ranges, Add Sheet or Range. I'm going to click here on Sheet. And I'm going to, this is the name of my document here. Now I'm going to click this. I'm going to put my cursor where I want to start eliminating places where I don't want it to be protected. So I'm going to hold down the Command or Control key. I have pressed down. I'm going to click on this little grid box here. And then I'm going to start clicking on the cells where I do want students to be able to type. And I apologize, since this logo's here, it won't let me choose those spaces behind. But you would want to protect where questions 5 and 6 answers would go. The last thing I'm going to click is this tab here, just in case students click on this when they're getting their magnifying glass. I don't want a warning to pop up. There's no text here, so I'm okay with that being unprotected. Okay, and set permissions. Now, when this pops up, you want to choose show a warning, because when this gets delivered to your students, you can no longer restrict who can edit this range. Once it's their copy, so you want it to be show a warning when editing this range, because if they go to type into, let's say they're going to accidentally type in a question area, it's going to give them this message. And so they want to say, oops, I'm typing in the wrong cell. Okay. And then I would take this out here. They can also, check don't show this again for 5 minutes. They can do that. But most of the times they'll just click OK and get that warning and realize that's not where they're supposed to be typing. All right, this is how you edit and customize your I Spy template. Please feel free to reach out if you have any additional questions.